he shouldn't be here.
Let him hear us, Clark.
He should be hearing us, trying to instill some values in him, trying to get through to him about what he's not doing with his life. That's what he should be hearing.
He's only hearing you. I think it's time
I
that
think he's
has
hearing
silence.
you, but I think he's hearing the wrong thing from you.
My God, what a life this is. Why do I have to put up with this? I have to go to work this morning and you're doing this.
My name is Peter. I'm 23 years old and I've lived at home all my life. Watching my parents dislike each other. For a while I thought that was a pretty exciting thing to do, but in the past year or so, it's all begun to get on my nerves. So what I've been doing instead is spending a lot of my time pretending.
It's purposeless, useless. All these years and I'm confused.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Peter. Happy birthday to you.
And I figured out a long time ago that being alone was easier if you became two people. One part of you would always be the same, like an audience. And the other part would take on different roles, kind of like an actor.
Before we start, I'd like to point out those cameras. They'll be videotaping our conversation. After this meeting, I'd like each of you to view the tape sometime over the next week. Now, it's important that you watch it alone, in one of our rooms on the 9th floor. Then, when we meet again, we can talk about your reactions to what you see, and what you think of the way you're behaving. Okay?
Good. Is that system hooked up to a synchronizing generator?
Yes. Now, good. Could someone tell me what's brought you here?
Well, right now, our big problem is with Peter. He doesn't want to do anything with himself.
Is that right?
I guess, yeah.
What do you do all day?
He pretends.
Is that right, Peter? Do you make believe?
Sometimes.
Why? You enjoy it?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Do you have many friends? Well, why not?
I find it difficult to communicate sometimes.
Are you lonely? How old are you?
He's 23.
I asked Peter. Is that right? Are you 23?
Yes.
Does your mother usually answer questions for you?
Sometimes.
A lot of the time? What time do you get up in the morning?
He usually sleeps in.
Do you stay up late? Then why do you sleep so much? Mr. Foster, what time do you usually get up?
Oh, 5:45. 6 o'clock.
You go to work?
Yes.
Is it a good job?
Oh, yes.
And you work hard at it?
Yes.
Take a certain pride in what you do?
Mm-hmm.
Then how is it that you've raised a son that doesn't want to work, has no pride, and pretends that he's somebody else all the time?
Is it necessary to be so blunt about all of this?
Maybe Peter's trying to reject your values. Is that it, Peter? You want to be like your parents?
No, I have nothing against them.
You love them? Very much?
Peter is in a very bad position. He's not making anything in this life.
What do you sound like?
Of course I haven't sound right, because I never lived here. Is that the boy too easy now? He cannot believe it. He has to stop.
Communication is not sharing. Communication is not please.
Looking back on our sessions at the family clinic, I've come to realize something. I envy therapists. I mean, what can be more exciting than getting to know another family, trying to solve their problems? What can be more satisfying than giving direction to other people's lives?
I don't have to listen to this. I have to go to work in the morning.
We have to have it out. We've got to get through to each other.
This
and we've
is
got
a
to
waste
get through our
of
son
my
like he's
time.
our son.
So how's your family?
Not bad. And yours?
So, you know.
How's your mother coming along?
Just better.
And your wife?
She told me she spent the weekend with another man,
You're joking.
then tried to commit suicide.
How about your husband?
Oh, he's great. Very cooperative, very open about his feelings, you know.
Well, that's a start.
Yeah, I suppose.
I had to show you my family sometime.
You have much tape of them?
6 hours.
Color?
Black and white. But I shot it in room 304.
So you're happy about it?
Oh, the lighting is even as you can make it. Cut the wrinkles on the faces.
It's so hard to get the flesh tones.
Can I help you?
Yes, I'm here to see a tape.
Which one?
Foster.
There you go, Doctor.
You're new here, aren't you?
Yes, I'm working here this morning. Miss Mnuchin had a medical appointment.
Well, nothing serious, I hope.
She had to get her teeth fixed.
Ah. And what's your name?
Liza.
Liza. My name's Ted, but most people around here call me Teddy.
Well, I'm only here this morning.
Oh, call me Teddy while you're here.
Room 153 is free.
Thanks, Liza.
You're welcome, Teddy.
He doesn't want to do anything with himself.
What do you do all day? Do you have many friends? Are you lonely? How old are you? Does your mother usually answer questions for you? Then how is it that you've raised a son that doesn't want a job, has no pride, and pretends that he's somebody else all the time?
Is it necessary to be so blunt about all of this?
Maybe Peter's trying to reject you.
For 23 years, I've been raised as my parents' pride and joy. That's got to change. I want control now.
Hi, Sarah. How are things out there? This This is a tape of the session that I mentioned to you in my letter. I've included a file on the family which will help to give you some idea of their background. As you'll see, there's a ghost member that I'm dealing with here. A son who was given up for adoption. Though the shape of the absent child placed a stress on the family's equilibrium, this session proved quite effective in releasing the tyranny of the missing son. I hope you find it helpful. Why do you think your daughter left home?
Because she don't respect me, that's why.
Why do you think she doesn't respect you?
Because she act like a big shot.
In what way?
The way she dresses. Look at her.
Is that all you're angry about, George? Her clothes?
She dressed like a whore.
Do you think she's a whore? When you talk, do you listen to her?
Yes.
She doesn't think that you do.
She don't listen to me.
Then why do you treat her like a child?
Because she made me angry.
How?
She just does.
Are you sure you're not angry about your son, George? About Bedros? Are you saying that he's not here to make things better, to follow in your footsteps? Are you angry with Aza because she rejects the values you believe your son would have accepted? You gave your son away when you came to this country.
We had no money.
So you gave him away. A few years later, you had her. You kept her. She's in this room with us right now. Does that upset you? What are you thinking, Sonia?
I want us to be happy.
All right, let's play a little game. I want us to pretend that I'm your son, that I'm Bedros. Let's say that I've just come into this room. Hi, Sonia. Hi, George. Aren't you going to hug me? I'm afraid that I won't listen to you either. Do you think that I'll find you ignorant? That I'll be embarrassed by your accent? Well, I am. You're just a lousy foreigner. A lousy peasant. No wonder people don't trust you. You smell.
Oh, God.
George! George!
Hit me, George! Go on! Hit your son as hard as you want!
Did everyone have an opportunity to look at the tape from our last meeting? Good. Well, let's start with you, Peter. What did you think of what you saw?
Well, I thought you did a very good job.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, pointing out what the problems were. You displayed a great sensitivity, very polished.
And what do you think the problem is?
Oh, that's obvious. I'm just bored.
No, Peter, don't say it.
No, there's nothing wrong with me.
Do you want to change things?
Yes.
So what do you plan to do?
Well, I thought I'd go away for a while, be alone, feel like I'm responsible.
I think that's a great idea. Would you be willing to finance such a trip?
Well, now, I don't know.
Yes, of course.
Good. I'd like you to keep a diary while you're away. Have you ever kept one before?
No.
And it doesn't have to be written. You can speak it in tape recorder. Pretend you're talking to a stranger, telling your thoughts to someone you don't know. Then, when you return, we can all listen to the tape and discuss it. Okay?
Sure.
Have you thought of where you'd like to go?
My name is Peter. I'm 23 years old, and I've lived at home all my life. watching my parents dislike each other. For a while, I thought that was a pretty exciting thing to do, but in the past year or so, it's all begun to get on my nerves. So what I've been doing instead is spending a lot of my time pretending, just to get my mind off things. Lately, though, my mother's caught me at it a couple of times. I think it really bothers her. So one day, we all went to see this family therapist, and with his encouragement, I decided to take this little trip. So here I am. Looking back on our sessions at the clinic, I've come to realize something. I envy therapists. It must be really exciting getting involved with another family, trying to solve their problems. What can be more satisfying than giving direction to other people's lives? It must give one a real sense of purpose. For 23 years, I've been raised as my parents' pride and joy. But that's got to end. I want control now. Hello. Is this the Deryan residence? Yes, yes, this is going to come as something of a surprise to you, but I'm your son. No, I'm not joking. Yes, your son. Bedros? Yes. Well, I'd like to meet you.
Someone. I know. Bedros!
Your hair used to be darker.
Did it?
As black as your mother.
You're so skinny. It used to fill my fingers. Skinny like your grandfather. Don't you think Georgie looks like his grandpa?
More like his uncle. So, you keep your name, huh, Bedros?
Yep.
You proud of it?
Of course he's proud.
Yep, some changed their names.
Not our son.
Bedros, are you happy to see us?
You bet.
We thank for this meal and the return of our son Bedros. God, he gave his son Jesus to be killed to pay for sin. Amen.
Sonia, Bedros.
Bedros, welcome. Genatsit.
Genatsit.
It will be your favorite.
Oh, I didn't have teeth then, did I?
I mash it like pudding. You eat it all up. You never make a mess. You were such a good baby. Weren't you, George?
Huh?
You never cry. Even when you were scared or you were hungry. You never cry.
Even when I hit him, he never cried.
So, did you have any other children?
We had a daughter.
And you gave her up too?
We don't give you up. We have no choice. No money, no doctor, no friends, no house. What you want us to do? Let you starve?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way.
It was only thing to do.
So, where is my sister?
She left home.
When?
2 months ago.
Does she know I'm here? Well, I'd like to meet her.
She will never come into this house again.
It's a bit odd, actually, being in a strange city like this. I was always told that vacations were supposed to take a while to get used to. That at first you might feel lonely, homesick. But I don't feel lonely at all. Not that it would bother me that much. I mean, as an only child, you're sort of born into feeling that way. And I figured out a long time ago that being alone was easier if you became two people. One part of you would always be the same, like an audience, and the other part would take on different roles, kind of like an actor. So that way I could keep myself pretty amused by watching myself play these different characters. But yesterday was a real eye-opener, because for the first time I almost couldn't tell which side of me was taking on which part. And that was a bit scary at first. But I'm beginning to like it.
Some of these rugs are 100-year-old.
They're beautiful. You must be proud to sell them.
Sure. Maybe you'll be proud to sell them too. Bedros, you will become my partner. Father and son.
Well, I'll have to think about it.
Think about it. Sure you want to think about it. No. Bedros, I will tell you something. I inherited from my father. I had so much money I don't know what to do. At home, I had tools.
It's for my mother. I swear it's for my mother.
I go to call the police, and you know what they do? They put you in the jail.
Oh, I won't do it again, please, sir.
They torture you. They beat you with sticks. You understand?
Yes.
Sure?
Yes.
Promise me you don't do it again?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Go. If you want them to remember, you're scared. Bedros, I will tell you something. I love this country. You know why? At home, I had 2 stores. 2. I inherited from my father. I had so much money. I don't think what to do. You know, I had that money. I bribed police. I bribed judge. Everyone. It's the only way to survive there. It was like a nightmare. I wasn't happy. One day, I wake up and I saw everything taken from me. My house, my money, my stores, everything. That bastards wait me 3 years to get out that hell. 3 years. I come here with nothing. No money, no house, nothing. So I work. I work like a dishwasher, taxi driver, you name it. Finally, I make a small money and I buy this store. I know this is a small store if I compare what I had there. But you think I am miserable? Oh, no, no, I am very happy. You know why? Because if you start with nothing, everything you earned fills you with pride. No bribes, no lies, no fear. Oh, Bedros, we are late. Sonia waiting. Sonia, we are home.
Hello?
I'm your sister.
Awesome. I didn't think you'd be here.
Are you staying in my room?
No, hotel.
It's better.
It's better. It's better. What is mean it's better? I speak with you, what is mean it's better? Why you don't answer? Look how she respect me.
The dinner is almost ready.
Why you don't answer to me? Why you don't answer to me?
Go back to sleep, Pa.
I don't want to sleep. I don't want to sleep.
It always gets like this.
You make this mad house.
Look at Ma. I'm perfectly calm.
I'm calm too.
Right.
I'm calm too. Bedros, who's calm? Say who's calm?
You just learn to control yourself.
I'm very well controlled. If you listen to me, I'm very
Why should I
controlled.
listen to you?
Because I'm your father.
But Kirichen!
I am your father. I am your father. I am your father. You leave. Okay. No, Sonia. Sonia, please. No. No. No, please, Sonia.
Another day of discovery. I was invited to have dinner at the home of a very nice older couple who introduced me to their daughter. They're an unusual family, quite different from what I'm used to. I'd like to spend more time with them and get to learn something about their way of life.
The way I see it, there's nothing wrong in pretending. As long as you're aware that's what you're doing. It takes more effort to speak what's on your mind than to say, yes, Dad. What are you thinking?
All we've talked about since we met is about Dad and me.
So?
There are other things.
Like what?
You and your parents?
What do you mean?
What were they like?
Quite typical, I suppose. Upper middle class, nice house. There's not that much to say about them, really.
What did they do?
The usual.
And that means?
The usual things their type of people do. What's so funny?
You seem very proud of them.
Well, what do you want me to say?
You love them?
I suppose.
You suppose?
I did love them.
But that's all in the past.
What do you mean?
You cast them aside.
I had to.
Why?
It's obvious.
Not really. I mean, if I discovered that Pa and Ma had adopted me, I wouldn't try to find my real parents.
You can't say that.
Why not?
Well, it's impossible to imagine yourself in that sort of situation. It just doesn't make sense. All I can say is that I decided to find you because something inside me needed to. That's it.
So here you are.
Yeah.
Happy?
Not really.
Why not?
It upsets me to see you and George arguing all the time.
I'm afraid there isn't much that you can do about that.
There is. I'll make things better.
You like eggplant?
I've never tried it.
Never?
I don't think so.
Then I make you some tonight. And rabbit, you like rabbit?
Yes.
Oh, it's okay. Was your mother a good cook?
My foster mother.
Mm-hmm.
Not as good as you are.
Oh, you just say this.
No, I mean it.
Were your parents mad when they find out?
Find out what?
Find out that you are looking for us?
No. They weren't that emotional.
Oh, they are not like us.
Definitely not like you.
Does it bother you when your papa screams?
A little. Have Asa and him always fought so much?
No, they used to love each other. They joke and George take Asa with her everywhere. But now, I don't.
Things will get better.
Did you fight with your parents?
No. But we didn't do that much else.
Were you happy?
Much happier here.
Really? Then why you don't stay with us in Asa's old room?
I don't think it would be a good idea for us to become too dependent.
Oh, I see.
That'll be $7, please.
Okay, I pay.
No, Sonia.
Why?
It's a gift. Asa said she'd bring the wine, so let me buy the bunny.
This wine tastes like a sweat.
I have to leave.
Hardly you, Jason.
I have a class at 7.
Asa,
It's important, Ma.
I make some sandwiches for you.
Why?
To take with you.
It's okay, Ma.
Asa.
No.
Please stay.
I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, Pa.
Bedros, come watch TV with me.
The matter?
I can't stand this anymore. It is like she's his enemy.
Have you tried to talk to him about it?
What use for?
It might help.
Sometimes it's better to keep quiet. It would be better if you were here, Bedros. I miss you. Some night, he's not able to sleep because he's thinking of you. Where are you? What are you doing? Sometimes, even he's thinking that you are in this house, watching him. He wants so much to have a son. He needs somebody to listen to him.
I'm here now.
Bedros, you know what I miss most?
What?
To hold you like a baby.
You still can.
Oh, you just break my bones.
No, I won't. Here. Put your arms around me.
Well, this is it.
It's huge.
I'm looking for someone to share it with. It's quite cheap,
Really?
but there is no heating.
Oh.
Think about it. And this is my room.
And these are yours?
Mm-hmm.
They're good?
Thank you. Do you recognize him? It's one of the few things Ma kept. You were best friends.
Alas, poor Teddy.
You knew him?
Quite well.
And this is you.
Would you say I've changed?
A bit taller, maybe? Otherwise, the spitting image of Pa.
Is that a compliment?
When's the last time the two of you talked?
In counseling.
In what?
We went to see a counselor.
You're joking.
No.
How did you get George?
Well, Ma convinced him that it was for a checkup.
And he believed her?
He always does.
Did it help?
What?
The counseling?
Well, our counselor seems to think so. Although that could be his rationale for getting beat up.
By George?
How did you know?
I guess. His temper.
Oh. I suppose it all culminated this one day when he came to pick me up from school. I was in the middle of an art class when he just walked into the studio. Imagine shock. I mean, there I was, his daughter, in front of a naked man. He ripped up everyone's drawings and then threatened to kill the model. It wasn't funny then.
Well, what happened?
He told me to go back with him. I refused.
Okay.
A few months later, yes. You'd stay in here.
Have you considered what we talked about yesterday?
We talked about a lot of things yesterday.
Yeah, about Dad and you.
What's there to consider?
Well, I was wondering about that comment he made.
Which one?
This the one that is like a slip. I was wondering what would have happened if you'd agreed with him.
Why would I do that?
To appease him.
Appease him? I would have felt like a liar.
But you wouldn't need to.
Of course I would.
Well, couldn't you think of yourself as an actor?
What are you talking about?
Well, a liar is someone who doesn't speak the truth. An actor does, but in somebody else's voice.
There is no difference.
Sure there is. When you're acting, you're doing it for someone. You're providing them with a gift.
But I would still feel terrible.
Not if you realized why you were doing it.
And why would that be?
To show you love him. George! Let's go.
George?
Yes?
How often do you come to these places?
Once a week.
Always on Thursday?
Yes, sometime in Tuesday and Monday.
Do you find them
Rousing?
What do you mean?
Do they excite you?
Who?
The dancers. Well, then why'd you go?
To relax.
You didn't seem relaxed.
Should I relax it?
Why'd you keep looking over at me?
Why you ask these questions?
Well, I don't know if it's such a good idea for you to see a woman like that on the stage. It must affect you somehow.
Bedros, what I see on the stage, she's not a woman. It's a whore. Your mother.
And Asa?
Asa, she's a little girl.
Why'd you say that?
Because she act like a small baby.
But she's working now, making a life of her own.
So?
Well, what would you do if you came into the club one night and saw Asa dancing on the stage?
What? What you saying?
Well, she has the freedom to do what she wants. You can't expect to control her anymore.
She's a whore? This what you want to say?
Do you think she would be?
Oh, no.
Why not?
Because she's a good girl.
Then why don't you trust her? Why do you keep acting like she's still a little child?
Bedros, she makes me angry.
Why?
Look, George, I'm your son, right?
Sure you're my son.
I'll try and follow the values you believe in, but if I can't fit them into my life, if I don't feel they're right, then I'll have to reject them. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't respect you. Maybe I'll respect you even more for keeping those values in a world where I can't fit them in.
She loves me. Huh, Bedros?
Yes, George, she does.
I'm afraid I didn't have an opportunity to record my thoughts yesterday, but things have been quite hectic. I've come to know the family very well. There seems to be no end to the amount of hospitality they're willing to shower on me. I must find some way to pay them for their kindness in the 2 days I have left. I think about home sometimes, though I don't know whether or not I really miss it. Things are moving around me so fast. It's difficult to know exactly what I feel. For the most part, I've been quite happy, though at times it's all become somewhat overwhelming.
What time does she usually get off?
4. Let's check her. Sometimes she finishes early. So why won't you let me either? Please?
Okay. Wacht lang, moet ik maar in de fout. Ja, iets nee, maar ah, luz al que te la baraste. Hey! Hey! Eso, chino. Hey! Hey!
Jesus Christ!
Every ball!
Hey, Georgie, baby! Just caught this guy outside with these clothes. They wouldn't happen to belong to you, would they?
George! George! Oh, my God! George! George! What's happening? George! George!
Oh, where is it? Where is it? Bedros.
He's got an ambulance.
Where is it? Where is your mother?
She's right beside you.
Oh, Sonia, don't cry, Sonia. As I tell your mother, do not cry.
Do not cry, Mom.
Asa, you know, I love you. You know, I love you.
Sure I do.
Yes, I can die in peace.
You won't die.
No, Asa, make me a promise. Make me a promise.
What?
Do not make yourself cheap. Even if you don't have 1 cent, work like a dishwasher, waitress, do anything you want, but don't lose your respect. Promise me, Asa, promise.
Promise, Asa, please. I promise.
Oh, that's good, that's good. Bedros, take a picture. Yes, picture. Take a picture. No, don't ask question, take a picture. Bedros, take a picture. Take it. Look at that. Take it. That's good.
Dr. Thomas Brain, call the PT. Dr. Thomas Brain, call the PT.
Let's go. I'm okay. Look at me.
What did the doctor say?
Nothing, Crown. It's all in here. Hey, why you don't hug your papa? April Fool to you.
You start with nothing. Every bit you earn fills you with pride. It is yours. No bribes, no lies, no fear.
aren't any candles.
Sure there is. Take a closer look.
Oh.
Come on, come on.
Where?
Come on.
Deryan and son. Smile, 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 smile.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that this was a total surprise. I'd totally forgotten that today was my birthday. I guess that just shows how exciting this week has been for me. I don't know quite how to put this, but I've learned something very, very important in the last few days. And that's that, in a way, it's a pity that you're born into a family. If you're raised with a group, you're obliged to love them, and that really denies you the possibility of getting to know them as people outside of that group. Now, in a way, that means that you can never really love your family. And that's because you're denied the freedom that's required to make that sort of commitment. I guess what you would call the freedom of choice. And finally, I'd like to say...
Bravo! Bravo!
Bravo! And finally, I'd like to say that I suggest we choose to have a good time tonight.
That was a great speech.
George seemed to like it.
The all understood was the part about having a good time. That's messy.
You're doing a good job?
What?
Playing the perfect daughter.
It's not easy. Uncle told me that my thighs were ripe for babies.
You've got them all convinced.
So do you.
What do you mean?
That you're the perfect son. Just close your eyes.
Why?
Just close them. It's a surprise.
I don't fall into surprises.
One more, it's a gift.
Okay.
Ta-da! Come on, hurry up.
Okay. Hey, haven't I seen from somewhere?
Do you like it?
Good morning. Good morning, children. Good morning. You have hangover?
I feel like I've been walking around on my eyes.
Did you like your relatives?
They're great.
They think that you look like George.
I surprised you, huh? Yesterday with my cake, I surprised you.
Look, I have something to tell you.
What?
I have to leave.
Why?
My parents had an accident.
When?
Yesterday.
Why you didn't tell us?
I didn't want to tell the party.
When you have to leave us?
As soon as possible. There's a flight out this afternoon.
Do you have to go? Why?
They were my parents.
Was it fatal? Then what are you going back to?
It's been a memorable week. I can't think of any time in my life when I've ever been as happy. It's with this in mind that I've decided to remain here. I realize that this is going to come as a shock to you, but you must never doubt my love. Because you'll always be my parents, Mom and Dad. Just like I'll always be your son, Peter.
Now, I'd like us to play. I'd like you to pretend that I'm your son.